you have to breed that neck carefully from the beginning, so you know if it's a rubbery neck or if it's super stiff, because you don't want to flex it back. If it's rubbery, you might flex it back 12 thousandths.
Yeah.
Stiff, you might flex it back 3 thousandths.
So in the old days when you were doing this from Schoenberg, were you still able to get bar fret stock from Martin, or how were you sourcing?
Oh yeah, it came from Martin. There it is on the right.
Ah, here we are.
Yeah, 1,000 pounds of bar fret wire. So bring that up, and so that's what it looks like in the raw form that I ship it. But scroll through those if you can, and your question will be answered. There.
Here we are.
Yeah. So that on the left is the standard fret, and on the right,
T fret.
Kind of a blurry picture, but it's literally just a bar of metal. But you can get an idea from that how much more metal there is in there.
Yeah.
It's really a massive amount that gets let into the fingerboard. So if you,
that's a T fret.
Yeah.
There's a bar fret.
Yeah. So if you stack the bar frets side by side, it's like 1.5 inches thick. It's a massive amount of metal. It depends on how wide they are, but 20 frets. So that's what it looked like. That's what the old stuff looked like. It came from Martin.
Not for nothing, TJ, but that looks a little soft.
Yeah, I know, it's like lead. But it would come in a ball. Like when people write to me and say, I was wondering if you could radius it to 16 feet instead of 18. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is what so I send him this picture and say, this is what it used to look like,
Yeah,
so
suck it up, cowboy.
The stuff I'm sending out is a dream come true compared to this. It's too much metal, right? You're trying to bend it to match the radius, and the wider it gets, the harder it is to make all that stuff work, because it's an ice cream cone shape. So the radius is different from fret to fret, so you have to be able to alter it.
So the amount of rigidity that you can put into a neck with bar frets. I mean, I think the first one I did was on an ebony rod one, and boy, I backbowed that neck like crazy, and the string tension just wouldn't pull it forward, and I wound up having to redo it.
Yeah.
But is there any limitation to how much you can move those necks around with bar frets?
There is with the neck itself, as you point out, the truss rod, the rod that's in it. If it's ebony, it's a totally different deal than a steel T-bar. If it's a steel T-bar from the 40s, it's a different deal than the 60s.
Yeah.
Because one is a 1/2 inch and one is 3/8. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So and if you're doing it on a 70s Martin, which I'm embarrassed to admit I have actually done.
Yeah.
That's a different thing, because those square tubes were pretty useless.
Were you able to wrangle a square tube? Could you put bar frets in like a D1220 and just crank that neck back and have it accept the 12 string tension?
Yeah. You can flex it back just in any shape you want. Yeah. But you were on to the one of the most difficult aspects of it is you have to breed that neck carefully from the beginning, so you know if it's a rubbery neck or if it's super stiff, because you don't want to flex it back. If if it's rubbery, you might flex it back 12 thousandths.
Yeah.
If it's stiff, you might flex it back 3 thousandths. If the board has been thinned out, a third of the board is missing or something.
Yeah.
Ebony, I'll check as I go, but usually only if I'm a little out of practice.
Are you using any adhesive, or is it completely? I
super glue them in afterwards.
Okay, it's from the outside and just kind of wick it like you would do like a T-board, wax the board.
Down one side and then the other. Yeah.
Any how Martin liked to put those notches in the bar frets above the fingerboard extension. You got any sage words for getting those bad Larrys out?
Oh God, I got photos of stuff in pieces. Yeah. I mean, that's one case where I think heat actually makes a difference. I often don't bother using heat, just kind of
Yeah.
maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, who knows. Um, but actually I've played with this idea that instead of pulling up on them,
Uh,
grab them like this and tip it. Just tip
okay.
the hose. Because the one side is going to be fine. The backside may be, but the theory kind of works. Like if you tip it, and you don't have to worry about preserving the slot too much up there because there's nothing sacrosanct about that tension wise.
Yeah.
So you just try to keep it from breaking to pieces and blowing apart, which I've certainly seen it many times.
Yeah.
But I've been playing with that a little bit, where you just tip it, and as you go across, like tip, tip, tip. So it's three different tips up there.
Hey, I got a question. Did Martin ever make a 14 fret dreadnought with bar frets, or were they all 12 fret?
They did, yeah,
Did they?
yeah. They're rare, but they're out there, yeah,
I
yeah.
bet those.